Oh, why, you just take her up there and dump her? Oh, he said she bowled all the way to town, and I ain't gonna take her anymore.
Oh, I wanted to come and live with you guys so bad. Oh, I did, and my mom says, they can't take care of you.
Mom used to say, oh, that kid, you never know she's around, so you give her something to play with and set her in the corner. And she said, you never know this kid around.
She had a thing of buttons and material, and we'd sew buttons on material. She'd show us how to hem, and we practiced, and it would sit right there on that corner thing.
Yeah.
It was our sewing thing. And a doll that we played with, a bride doll about like this.
Yeah.
Really
Cool
big.
things, I said
It
here.
was still
remember,
perfect condition, and Grandma had saved it for me, and I've already given it to my daughter, who has a collection of dolls, so it fits right in.
I went through it all sitting right here. I went through it all. So yeah, I'll remember all those little fool things.
Are we gonna take a ride out to the farm?
We can, I guess, after a while.
You
I'll
probably
tell
like
you.
that. Do they still have mulberries out there in the creek?
No, I don't know whether they got mulberries anymore or not.
Oh, mulberries are so
There
good.
used to be some out there.
Little poison ivy too.
There used to be choke cherries, lots of choke cherries. I had a brother-in-law.
Which brother-in-law?
From California, Marie's husband,
Med?
Ned. He come out and he'd take choke cherries back with him. And he took a bunch of one back and they wouldn't bloom for him. And he come back a second time. He thought maybe he didn't get into the female. He dug around out of 3 or 4 different patches and went back. And before he sold that place out there, they had a home right along the ocean fronted. They're out west of Tacoma, and where the ocean comes in around the mountains, comes in, goes out, and they had ocean front of 102 feet. She paid taxes on. That's why she paid her taxes on that front. And he had the prettiest grove of them choke cherry bushes out there back at his house that you ever seen. He took care of them, and they growed nice, and they bloomed. And all they just bloomed for him, and not a damn choke cherry would set on. They never did. They wouldn't freeze at night. They didn't. He's freezing. But he put a lifetime into them choke cherries, trying to get choke cherries to grow out there. They never got them. One of them ever showed up. Choke cherry. And your dad, mother, they took rhubarb out.
I did too. I tried to grow rhubarb.
They got smart enough where I told them that freeze it at night. You take it up and freeze it in the freezer at night, a couple of months, set it back out in the spring and you get rhubarb, but you leave it set in the ground out there and it's gone when spring comes. It'll brew one year. It won't needs that frost.
I didn't know that either. No wonder it won't grow in California.
They dig it up and freeze it in the freezer.
At nighttime?
Yeah, and then set it out in the spring again. A lot of different things happen.
Was there much when since you were farming up here, since you had the ranch up here, like in the 1930s? Was there much of a dust bowl?
Well, I bought it in '39. I had 2 or 3 years before the war. And I didn't
So
do
you
a
missed
lot.
that part.
We farmed there when the boys was there then, that was old enough to work. We cleaned it up and had a pretty good farm out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Had a big square home on there. 46, when I had all that corn, brother, there was a little twister come across the creek. And it just took the tops out of the trees across there, about 100 feet wide. And it hit one of them big cottonwoods west of my house. And it just pulled it up. And it threw up a bunch of roots and stuff half as big as this room. Just turned it over right on the corner of that house. That tree was 112 foot tall.
Wow.
Harold Curley measured it the next morning while we were laying up there. I remember that too. Sure smashed up. And they killed them two boys. They killed Art and Earl. They were sleeping together in that corner room. That damn tree laid right across their bed. They had went a Saturday night and they went uptown.
Oh.
Earl had just come home from the Navy and he was in the other room reading.
Thank God.
When that tree hit. God damn. With all that corn and stuff I had, them German boys, it's a good thing I had them too.
Where's your medals at, Grandpa?
Huh?
Where's your medals at?
Oh, I got some of them boxed up and some of them up there.
At the Legion? What you want? I'll get it.
You can. I don't know which one to get it from there. It's in a box.
It's not in here.
Huh?
It's not in here. Is this your Legionnaire pin?
Oh, wait a minute.
You probably wore it recently.
There it is. I forgot about we putting it up there.
Yeah, I saw that one. He's got a box. Glass, under glass.
Oh, that one over there, is it a
Yeah,
different
that's the
one?
one I was looking for. What's this one? Oh, that's your Masons, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a Mason.
Did they do anything for your birthday?
Oh, yeah, they always.
I emailed them. Said don't. I emailed them. Said don't forget your oldest member.
Yeah, I'm the oldest member. I've been a Mason over 70 years.
A diamond pin.
I've got a gold card from the American Legion and Veterans of Foreign Wars, book 2.
Mm-hmm.
That one there is the one the Frenchman brought over here. Here,
On your
3 or
100th
4 years
birthday.
ago.
What is this, an ammo belt?
That belt was, I took off a German prisoner. We took a cut one night. He had that on him, he made it. I took it off, put it on myself.
Good for you. That was his toe tag. See the old blood on it?
Oh, after the guy had died?
After he got hurt.
Oh, after-
that was his
okay.
tag. 1914 to 1918.
Oh, those French flags too.
In that middle there, the English and French tried to get up to me when we was over there. When it happened. And it didn't happen the way they had it figured out it was going to. They always kept observers back up behind us fellows, watching us. And that morning, we always, when we went, took them Germans up back, we'd only go so far, and then we stopped. We had to stop and wait till our machine guns and our light artillery and artillery would catch up with us. Because we kept it going, we got in trouble, a lot of big trouble.
Yeah.
And I told these boys, that was the morning that I got hit. We had some new men, I had 8 new men that night before. I told them that night, I told them 3 or 4 different times, when we go down, our objective tomorrow morning, don't you fellows all go in a hole together. I said, don't 1 and 2, I said, and they won't drop a shell on you. But I said, if 3 or 4 of you go in a hole together, they'll drop a shell on you. And I just forced that on them, tried to. And that's what caused me to get hit. There's 3 or 4 of them went in 1 shell hole that morning, after I told them. We was just catching hell. And I was laying there and the captain crawled up behind me. We didn't dare stand up, you just got blown to pieces. He jerked my foot. He said, Captain, or Eddie, he said, you're gonna lose that whole bunch of new men over there. He said, they all went in the hole together. 3 or 4 of them. I said, yeah, I seen them, Captain, but I said, I'll wait till we get a lull in this here fire, and I'll get over there. And if you laid and waited, you could tell when them shells, after you was in there a while, if you listened, you could tell whether it's going to come down, light on you, or whether it's going over you. They had a different sound when they got there, whether it's going to drop. And if you laid and listened in a room, you could move over a little ways at a time between them shells. That's what I tried to do. I thought the time was right, and I tried to get over there. I was going to get them guys out of there. And I took the shell they got, they was meant for them. That's what tore me up.
Why did they give you that medal? What did you do to get
But
that medal?
that medal there, that was a different deal. We was stopped one morning. We couldn't make our objective. We had a couple of machine guns, and there was some rough ground down there. And they had machine guns behind them all. And we couldn't advance. We went down. I told the boys, I sent 3 of them around to the left. I said, and I'll go around, take 2 and go to the east. I said, if we come up from the east, we can get close enough we can throw a hand grenade over there, them birds. And
Did they have machine guns, those people?
we did. I took 2 of them, my boys. We went around down that way, worked ourselves down, and we got to where there was a little old road that went by there. And we was going to be in the open for a little ways. Right on the other side was a nice mound there, and I told them boys, I said, we get over to that, we could throw a hand grenade over to them fellows that were doing the shooting. Over the other one. There was nobody behind that, or there didn't seem to be. But when I got across over there, we got there and we got ready, and I said, now, you boys stay here and I'll go one at a time, and if I get across over there, I said, then you boys come one at a time. And we did. We got over there. I got over there and I never told the boys you do things. I always said we gotta do them. We got over there and I said, now, I'll go across first, and if I make it across over there, then you fellas come one at a time. Okay. I started and I got over there, and I just got over and ready to lay down, and here come 4 German soldiers over the top of that damn mound. They didn't have no fire or nothing, they'd run out of shells. And, they'd seen me coming alone, they thought they had pickings. They come up over there with their guns all set. Well, I took care of the first 3 of them. And the other one come over and he pitched his gun at me. He just pitched it right at my stomach. I seen it coming, but I was up here, well, that last one, I was up here, and I just had time to throw my gun out, and I hit the end of the sword, and it went down, but it just made a little wound shape right in there.
In your knee.
On my knee, inside my knee. It went all over my shoulder. And about that time I heard another gun shot right in my ear. I looked around. There was this farmer, it used to be from Bowie, his name was Farmer, Leroy Farmer. He said, Sergeant, I said, I just wanted to even up the odds a little. He took care of that third one. Well, now them fellows that were watching, they never seen this and didn't know what it was all about. And I had blundered. I should have thrown a hand grenade over there, see if there's anybody over there before I went.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. And I had cautioned them boys about not take chances.
Mm-hmm.
Use a hand grenade. And I wouldn't take that medal. I refused it. I said, no, I said, there's another 100 boys, and I was in command of them, laying up there watching the whole damn thing. And I said, I was just a bit of, well, I would never got over it. Because they all seen it, they all know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't take the medal. And they kept that for 80 years on their books. Finally brought it over to me.
Special.
Yeah. You had to take it, huh?
That's the way it happened.
Yeah.
They thought I'd done it all by all my own, but they didn't know what happened entirely. I had boo-booed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still took care of it.
Huh?
You might have boo-booed, but you still took care of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard to remember all that stuff. Take care of them.
You do a damn good job.
I had to look after the bunch that I was taking care of. We lost our lieutenant. A squad, or a platoon, at that time was 6 squads of 8 men each.
Mm-hmm.
And a first and a second sergeant and a lieutenant. That was a platoon. First platoon, 4 platoons to a company.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost our lieutenant the first day at Chattanooga Ferry. And the next morning, we lost top sergeant. I was second sergeant. I was in command. And I stayed there. They sent me 2 different lieutenants, new lieutenants, right out of college. Hell, they didn't know anything. They hadn't had enough war to know anything. They were scared to death, and they were afraid to tell any of them old boys what to do or try to control them or run them. The first one, he stayed about a week. He got so damn nervous and shaking, so I finally took him down to the medics, told them to take care of him, because I couldn't handle him over there. Of couldn't do nothing with him. He was afraid to say anything, and he'd come to me for everything, and I couldn't handle him and the rest of the bunch. And I don't know whatever did happen to him. Then they sent me another one. 3 days, was all he lasted. He was just the same way, just out of college. Instead of making us fellows who had been in there and had the experience, us older sergeants, they'd make them fellows lieutenants right out of college. That's the biggest mistake they ever made. Because they thought they was outranked us all. Come in there, second lieutenants. Hell, they didn't know anything.
So sometimes street smarts is
They
better
just
than
didn't
college
know.
smarts.
They just sent them in there and put them in the ranks for a week or so. They might have worked up and
Learn fast.
Oh, yeah.
got someplace, but just send them in there out of college, it was wrong. You know, this was the wrong thing they ever did.
How long were you in the service?
Well, I was over there pretty near 3 years before I got out of there. I mean, we didn't, in that heavy fighting, it was just a year, 18. We started there in the spring of 18. Chatusari was the first place we hit.
Have you ever seen the uniforms from the First World War? They didn't even have boots.
Yeah.
They had those wrap things and shoes.
They put me in the army here in the Senate. They sent me back to the hospital. And I was in the hospital until January, after the war was over in September. And the fellow that was bunkmate to me, he was with the intelligence people. And we talked in there and told one another all our troubles, I guess, around. But we never to give it a thought. But when they began talking about sending me back to Germany, they thought they'd send me back to Germany where my company was. My house, if they went into Germany on army occupation.
Yeah.
And I was still there in the hospital, and he said to me that one morning, he said, I'm going home. He said, I just signed up to drive that Jeep. Do it for the duration. He said, the war's over. He said, we're all going home. They ain't got nobody to drive them Jeeps. At that time, there was hardly anybody to drive a car, or had a car.
Yeah.
I haven't been lucky enough that I had a car of my own. Hadn't had it a year. And I just spoke up and I said, hell, I could drive that damn Jeep. Just,
I never thought about
Never
that for
even
World War
I
thought.
I.
didn't either. I never even thought
he
of
said,
it.
maybe you're just the guy they're looking for. He went and called his commander. They come over and talked to me, and they said, we can use you. So they called my commander over in Germany and talked to him and found out all they could about me. Come back and he said, yes, he said, we can use you. He said, so I signed up with him. I had to stay 6 months over there to drive that Jeep. I drove the Jeep too. 3 days after I was in there, I found out I had to work along with them. I was in the intelligence company. That's the way I got into having to get dragged back into World War II. I carried reserve in it when they sent me home. They wanted to know I wanted old reserve. I said, yes, I know reserve in it. I thought the war was all over. And I held reserve, and that's the way I come to get back in.
So you were in World War II also? You were in World War II also?
Well, yeah, I was in, I never went into the army, into the fighting outside, just work I done in California amongst the Japs.
Did you ever see any of those motorcycle?
Huh?
Did you ever see any of those motorcycle soldiers in France?
I didn't
There
know-
was a bunch of guys that were driving those motorcycles over there in France.
Oh, yeah, we seen them. They
Seen
never
movies
had no
on it.
much to do. The motorcycles, they had quite a bit to do, but they was kind of messengers back and forth from the infantry back to the artillery. They rode their bikes back and forth.
Good.
Do you remember what your first car was?
Huh?
What was your first car you ever had?
Dodge.
Dodge?
I had a Dodge touring car.
What year was that? Do you remember?
Well, it must have been about 16, 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
About 16 I got that. I got a touring car because of the folks I had father and mother there I was living with, 2 sisters. They're on the ranch and I was running the ranch. So I got me a touring car so I could take them on.
Do you remember how much it cost? How much were cars?
Huh?
Do you remember how much the cost was of the car?
Yeah, how much it cost?
Yeah.
It was $880.
Well, that was a lot of money then, wasn't it?
It was a lot of money.
Yeah. When did the first cars come out? Early 1900s.
Well, I had a pretty good chunk of cattle by that time of my own. I was on the halves of Dad. Half the cattle he owned was mine. Half the horses all was mine. Dad had a lot of good horses. At one time he had 14 brood mares.
Was it after the war or before the war when you got some guy
Well, that was
Hired you
before
to-
the war.
hired you to ride a horse and was paying you, and your father said something about how much money you made?
Oh,
Do you remember the story I'm talking about?
I never made a whole lot of money on it. So one
Well, at
time,
that
but
time it was a
one
lot
time
of
I
money.
went up to Cheyenne and I rode a horse up there. Rode a wild horse, they call her Shaggy Mane. Nobody's been able to ride her. Dad and Clarence, my oldest brother and Dad took me up there. I was 19 years old. Cheyenne.
That was before the
And
war.
all the riders them days was just for the riders from the ranches. There was no professional riders like there is nowadays.
Breaking horses.
And this year there's $100 if you ride this one mare. She had never been rode. I watched the first 2 fellows rode her first 2 days of their frontier days there. And I seen just exactly, she bucked the same way both days. She would buck, they get on her, and she'd buck 3 bucks to the south. She'd jump in the air and whirl. She'd whirl right in the air. And that's where she got them. She'd throw them off of balance. And when she'd land, she jumps so high and lights so hard, she just jolted everything inside of you. But when she got them up, when they was up in the air, I see she whirled, she got them off of balance on riding. And when she come down, she threw them. I said to Dad I could ride her. Oh, Dad said, kid, he said, she may kill you. He said, she's a bad one. And I said, I don't think she will. I said, I believe by God I can ride her. So I signed up. Come riding time. They had to tie her down to saddle her. Oh, she was mean. She just bawled like a bull. She was mad. I got on that fool thing, and it just seemed like she was high as the ceiling. She could jump straight up, and when she come down, she'd jump down on all 4 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And she just jammed you, my God, no, I tell you, she just jammed the life out of you. I had that brains enough to know that she was going to whirl in that 3rd round, and I threw my spur into her.
Mm-hmm.
I locked my spur on my left foot under my saddle,
Mm-hmm.
and by God, I went with her. She whirled. When she come down, she jolted me awful hard. But by God, I was still in the saddle. She made 2 more jumps, and then she just stood there and mauled. She didn't get me all.
So you won the money?
Well, I got my $100, and then they went to throwing money out on the racetrack. Them days they had some seats along there at the edge of the racetrack, and they had a racetrack around there, Cheyenne. They didn't have no regular frontier days. Their frontier days were right out in front of them. They're on that racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
They started throwing quarters and $half and dollars out there on the racetrack to me. Hell, I couldn't even see them. I knew they was doing something. But Dad and Clarence got hold of me, and I was shook up, John. I was jammed up all bad for a while. I bled a little at the ears. My ears bled a little.
After riding a horse?
Yeah, from riding her getting jammed. But the cops got in, got it all gathered up what they could. A lot of it I never did get, but I got $300 and some odd of change. 2 little ragged there kids. Next morning, we was at the breakfast table down there in Cheyenne. There's one of the boys come and was running the thing there and said, "There's a couple of kids out there wants to see you." I went to the door, and there was 2 kids out there, and they were ragtag. All they had on in the world was a pair of old Union Halls. The knees were all out, and their hair was all of it acted had been washed for a week. And they had $3.75, nickels and dimes. They'd taken a rake and raked that dust at night there in that racetrack, and gathered up that $3.75, just in nickels and dimes. And them kids broke that up and wanted to give it to me. And they even hadn't had any breakfast. And I said to them, "You had any breakfast?" "No." I said, this fellow said, "They can't come in here and eat like that." I said, "If I wash them up and comb their hair," I said, "will you give them their breakfast?" He said, "Yeah." I said, took them kids in the washroom. I made them wash up. I combed their hair, took them back in. I bought them breakfast. After I bought the breakfast, I gave them their $3.75. And one of them kids wrote to me off and on all the way through the war. Yes, sir, he never ever forgot me. He did all right too. The other one I never did hear from.
Were they brothers or just?
Huh?
Were they brothers?
No, they wasn't brothers.
I never heard that story before.
But there was quite a story to it that way. Them kids followed me. That kid, he followed me to France, wrote to me. They got a letter in there, someplace in my stuff there. It wrote to me when old Lomax was still, had a post office over there. 3-cent stamp on that envelope, on that letter. My brother and his wife wrote it to me in France. Well, the war was over, my outfit moved into Germany. It went there, and I was in the hospital, so they sent it to Germany. Well, from France, went over into Germany. From Germany, it's come back to the hospital, started in. And by the time it got back to the hospital, I'd come home. There was going out there. It went back home. But all that distance with a 3-cent stamp on it.
You got your
No.
money's worth.
Now I got there talking about raising them up another 2 or 3 cents.
Yeah.
38 or $9
I remember when it was 4 cents.
There's a 3-cent stamp on that letter.
Yeah. Can you?
All that distance.
One of my kids wanted me. Yeah, what were some of the prices for like back before World War One? What'd you pay for like a loaf of bread? How much did you pay for bread like in 1910 and before World War One? What did some of the things cost?
Well, I don't know if we ever bought any
Oh
bread.
boy, yeah, you probably made it all. Yeah.
I don't know. Mother ever bought a bit of bread. She always made everything.
Yeah. What about flour or sugar? Did you ever buy any of that?
Well, we always bought a little. Dad generally took a load of wheat and traded it for flour.
Just traded it.
Yeah, but I don't know where he kept it. There's just 2 rooms in that side of the house. And we had 3 or 4 beds in that one room, and then the other room was the kitchen and Dad's bed and Mother's in the big long room. Dad went over in our bedroom, put wires to the ceiling, put 4 of them up there, and tied a pole to them, ran them around the pole. The 2 of them, then laid boards across them above our beds. That's where he put this flour and stuff that the mice would get into, keep the mice out of them. I couldn't stand up in my bed.
He was too short. Yeah.
Just right over my bed. There's a whole damn wagon load of flour up there.
But
Everything was made. We never, Mother she made a little butter and stuff out of the cream, enough to buy a little pepper and salt and stuff, just like that. Herbs that she had to have to cook with.
Yeah.
That's just about all she bought.
Yeah.
We'd buy a little tea. She had a few tea rings.
But did you have town night Thursdays and Saturdays? Was town night, and you used to
Do I?
have town night where you brought stuff to town and trade? Thursdays and Saturdays.
Oh, we never had no trays.
That's what they used to say. Saturday night was town night. And Thursday night everybody go to town and visit, and they used to bring their wares, they told me.
Dad always told us now there's plenty on the table to eat. But if you go off and leave something, you get it for supper.
Well, yeah. When you were a kid, what'd you eat for dinner?
Whatever you took, you better eat, or
Yeah.
you get it the next day.
Yeah. What?
We didn't throw anything away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What'd you have for dinner when you were a kid? What'd you have to eat?
Oh, in summertime it was easy. We grew lots of tomatoes and cabbage, everything we needed. Fall come, we had corn, stuff like that. We lived on the eggs and milk mostly. Spring of the year.
Yeah.
Gravy and potatoes.
Mother would get a little rice. She'd cook up a little rice and put a few raisins in it. Flavor good. That's what we had. That's all the dessert we ever did have. Cream and sugar on. Here they try to feed it to us. This place of potatoes. They feed rice about once a week here. I just ate the damn stuff.
Did you ever have much like either any
Huh?
meat? Did you eat much meat like chicken or cow or beef or
Oh, we
anything?
had chickens by the time we always set a few hens, so we'd have a few chickens. Get chicken ready for the 4th of July. We'd have fried chicken. God, that was something when we had fried chicken for the 4th of July.
Grandma used to kill the chickens. She had her chicken killing shoes in the garage, remember?
Yeah.
With a little block.
Yeah.
She put that down, and as she pulled up, she'd wring their neck and throw them. And we used to go
Chase them.
chase them,
Yeah.
and then we had the hot water and had to dip them and pluck them. And then Grandma would singe them for us. And then we'd get to go cut them.
Mm-hmm.
She would.
Yeah.
We watched. Did that a lot of times.
Yeah, we eat. After the first few years, we always eat pretty good. I remember Dad, there was one tour of the season when we were still in the sod house. He would butcher 6 hogs one fall, all at once. And he put them in salt for 3 weeks. Had a box, big box. He put them down in salt. When the 6 weeks was up, he took them out, put them in the smokehouse, and he smoked them for 6 weeks.
Mm.
That was one of my jobs when I first started school. When I come home, I had to pick up some green sticks and stuff on the creek and there, put on there to make a smoke.
Okay.
We smoke that meat. We didn't want the fire, we just want something to smother and make a smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And that meat was good too, that was good meat. And then he'd take it down and bury it in the oats bin, keep the flies off of it.
Mm.
We used to dig out whole hams and side meat out of that oat bin.
Did you go to school when you were a kid?
Huh?
Did you go to school?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. How many grades did you go?
I went to my 8th grade
Really?
school and then I went to high school. I had trouble getting to my high school education. Dad thought when I got to 8th grade, I was far enough, but he let the older boys quit the 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Mother said she was determined I should get a high school education. I went to Broken Bow. There wasn't no school in O'Connell High School. They were building.
Mm-hmm.
I went over there and stayed with my uncle. When I took the 9th grade over there.
What kind of classes did you take?
Huh?
What kind of classes did they have back then? What subjects?
Well, I started in was kind of I don't know what they did call it, irrigation engineering.
Hmm.
That's what it ended up at.
Mm-hmm.
I took a year at that in high school. Then I moved back to O'Connell and it was just bookwork.
Yeah.
The
What'd you have, like math and history and...
math and history.
Yeah. Your history was shorter back then.
Yeah, we didn't have no history like we got now.
No. Yeah. Yeah, we have a whole class just on the 20th century.
Yeah.
That was just starting when you were in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
Oh, it's altogether different now.
yeah. What do you think the biggest change you've seen in the last 100 years?
Oh, I don't know. It's been so much change. I see things in the paper, headings. I see this priest proposition.
Yeah.
People think that's awful. Hell, I knew that when I was 19 years old, that them priests slept among their own people all the time. They didn't allow them to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, they told them name of Monahan there in O'Connell. These Smiths had a place next to Dad's on the east.
Mm-hmm.
And the old folks passed away, and there was 3 girls and 2 boys. The 2 boys were younger. And, Dad and I we helped the Smiths with their barns and cattle and stuff. I'd go down and castrate for them. That priest was always there.
Mm.
One winter, it was a damn cold day in January. I was 19 years old. I said to Mother, I'm going to get on my horse and go to town and get the mail. And I'll come back around the Smiths and stop and see how Frank's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I said, he's pretty sick. So I did. And I put my chaps on and put a veil over my horse's nose. It was a cold winter day. I went to town, got the mail, and played a game of pool, and come back around that way and went in. Priest was there. They was talking. We talked and get around. How I'd always got acquainted with him around. He was always sticking around there where he was working.
Mm-hmm.
He was always standing around watching. I ordered him a knife one day when I was castrating pigs. He just looked at me, grinned, and shook his head. And I stopped in to see Frank, and he was sick. He was sick. The oldest girl, and she.
No, that's your phone.
Hello. Hi. Huh? Come to decoration day for speak to him.
Hmm.
That's out. They
Yeah.
don't realize that I'm 108.
Yeah.
They know it too, but they don't realize.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were telling me you went to the farm, the priest that was at the farm?
Huh?
You were telling me about the priest that was at the farm, the Smiths farm. Remember the Smiths?
I don't.
Yeah, you said you went into town to pick up the mail.
Oh,
And
yeah. I went to town and I come back by, stopped to see Frank. Him and we all filled our barns together, worked together. So Frank was sick all right, but the priest was there. We talked, stood around there a while. Finally, Katie, she said, I'm, her and Gertie, she says, was getting awful tired setting up. It was Frank, they had set up and give him medicine. Them days we set up with the sick and dying.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Gertie, I said, if you folks set up with him, you're tired, I'll go down tonight and set up with him. Well, she said, I'd be awful glad if you would, if you could.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her, I said, well, I'd go on home, get the chores done, help Dad get things straightened up. I'll come back down and set up with him tonight. I did. I took the mail home, done my chores, and I went back, put my horse in the barn, took the saddle off of it, went to the house. Priest was still there. Well, we sat around there for about an hour and talked and went around. And finally, Gertie said, well, she said, I'm going to go to bed, she said. And she said, here, you take this flashlight and come and get me at 12 o'clock. I'll get up and give Frank his medicine he has. I take some medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. Never given a thought. They all left. The priest left with them. I suppose he went out in his car, sitting out there in front. I suppose he went on home. I got 12 o'clock come, I gathered up a flashlight and went up the stairs. There's a big square house, 4 rooms upstairs, 4 down. I went up the stairs in the corner room there. I opened the door and threw the flash on. I'm a damn the priest wasn't sleeping with her. I knew then, by God, that I'd heard that, but I never would believe it hardly. I was always skeptical of it. I was afraid to tell anybody else. And I kept that to myself. Oh, for a year before I even told Dad.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a little confidence in Dad. I tell him things like that. I finally told Dad. He just grinned and he said, "Oh," he said, "I've known that for several years."
So things haven't changed too much in 100 years, huh?
I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
And now they keep saying, "Well, today's paper, the front lines said we knew this before."
Mm-hmm.
I knew it all right ever since I was 19 years old. I experienced it.
Yeah.
Didn't seem to bother him, and the next time I seen him, he just grinned. He never said a word about anything.
Yeah.
The papers are full of it now. They're
Yeah.
tearing them up.
Yeah.
I knew I'd do this. I've followed it ever since then. They should make their priests marry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you ever think that we'd get to the moon? I said, did you ever think man would land on the moon?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Was that a surprise?
It was kind of a surprise to me at that time. I thought maybe it was just hearsay around. For 7 days we didn't hear so much. We didn't have no daily papers.
Mm.
We took a Kansas City Star. We got it once a week.
Mm.
That's all the papers we ever had.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have no mail routes or anything. We had to go to town to get our mail. We never knew a lot of this stuff that goes on nowadays
Mm-hmm.
that they're bringing to light.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you were 13, no, 11 when the first airplane, when the Wright brothers flew the first time. Yeah. Have you ever been on an airplane?
Huh?
Have you ever been on an airplane?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when was the first time you went on an airplane? You remember?
Oh, I don't remember. Oh yes, I do too. Remember the first one was in Omaha. That was in well, right after that Jap deal.
Mm-hmm.
World War II.
Yeah, that was World War II. Must have been about,
When was that? 45?
Well, yeah, that was.
it must have been
Late
about
40s.
1 or 2 in there.
41.
somewhere.
Yeah, December 7th, 41 is when they bombed Pearl Harbor. So.
I rode to California
Yeah.
on the airplane, and we could ride that airplane. Didn't cost anything. We could dump you. Anybody, if they ordered you to move on an airplane, you went there, and if it was full, somebody had to give you a seat.
Mm-hmm.
They'd take somebody off and send you. If you was ordered to come on that flight, you better be ready, and they'd take you.
Mm-hmm.
They'd dump
Standby
somebody.
doesn't mean
If
that
they
now.
begin to get full, they'd always warn you. You may not get this seat.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody walked up at the last minute and said, "Oh, we gotta go and show them your certificate. You didn't get the seat." That makes a little story on that deal. We was down in the New Mexico state.
Mm-hmm.
They said, I had another fellow down there. There was a bunch of, there was half-breeds. They wouldn't come in and register.
Mm-hmm.
Half-bred Indians and Mexicans mixed up. But they're American citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent me and another fellow down there. And when we got ready to come home that night, go home that night, we went over, was going to fly out. It was full. His kid there was going home. And he said it's going to be his last trip home. He's going to go over to Japan. And it took him off. He started to bawl. I said to the fellows with me, we never went by names when we was in that business. We was always, I was Inspector 33. And I said to him, I said, didn't you leave some things down there at the food hall? My God, he said, I did. I turned around to this guy, I said, let this guy go and have that seat. I said, we'll take the next plane. We left some things down there. We didn't leave anything down there at all. I lied. Him and I went back down and played pool to the next plane. Let that kid go home.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a nice thing to do then. Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things like that. I sat here and worry about them or think about them things. How we've manipulated a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else?
They never checked on us. We never did anything bad. We never tried to. But you never had any name. You never was any name. When you went down, one day you went through, they had a little office out the side of it where we always went for orders of a morning. You had to go through that before you got out. And if you was going back to the same place, or somewhere near the same place, you went back as a different man. He'd jerk your hair off or put your sappy on with a red head or whiskers or mustache or something, or give you a different shirt. You never looked the same. You was all a different man, and they went back the next day. I've got 22 shirts hanging in that garage right behind you. And a lot of them was them shirts. There's a different colored shirts than they've ever kind hanging in there. They're red, they're blue, and there's everything. 2 or 3 nice shirts.
Yeah. I'm trying to.
How long did you do that?
Huh?
How long did you do that?
Oh, he's at that, I don't know, it was a little over a year, I guess. We was fooling with them Japs. They found out we couldn't do nothing. We couldn't get the ones we wanted. They was hiding them. They'd use the knives on us and one thing to another. We go down and go asking questions, and by God, them old gals grab their knife and come at us. If you got tough with them, you had to get tough with them. You get them to talk at all. You got close to them, they spit in your face. Them old women would. Goddamn, they could spit right somewhere or other. They could throw a spit out of their tongue. That's when we shot their knives out of their hands. They got some damn bloody hands.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's one of my kids. You know, today kids in school they get away with a lot. I said kids in school today, they can do anything.
Yeah.
When you were in school, what would you get in trouble for if you did something? Do you remember getting in trouble for anything? What couldn't you do?
Well, I don't know. What do you mean I couldn't do?
Like you couldn't chew gum, or you couldn't,
Huh?
like, could you chew gum in school? When they,
Well, I had a year, part of a year of college. Is all.
yeah. No, but like
I
in,
didn't have no.
When you were in grade school,
yeah, grade school.
Oh, what grades?
would you get in trouble, and what would the teachers do? Would they spank you? Would they put you in a corner? Tell your parents?
Oh no, if you got out of line there, you'd get called up and chewed out for it.
You wouldn't get spanked?
No, we was past that age. We was old men by that time, half.
What about when you were younger?
40-some years when you're 50 years old.
What about when you were younger going to school?
Oh, when we was younger, I don't know. We never had any trouble at school.
You knew better.
When I was in Broken Bow, I had to hurry home and go up, and I had to sew
Chores?
leather for a living, just my board and stuff. I couldn't do anything, only
Yeah.
work. When I worked Saturdays and Saturday nights, I sewed harness for my board.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to school and got my lessons.
That's what it is. They don't work enough.
I
Yeah.
never even played football. I didn't have time.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't have to
It
work.
ain't like it is today.
No.
Today they haul